Okay, thank you for your participation. Now is Jeka. Please welcome Jeka. Thank you very much.
これかけます or bisa dianggo? Enggak. Selamat pagi. Ya, ibu-ibu, bapak-bapak sekalian. Orang Jepang dan Indonesia teman dari hati, ya, kokoro no tomo. We always help each other and together in hand. We are very glad to have this kind of opportunity today to share our idea. We have Bu Anita dari kantor JICA dan Bu Masda dari kantor pusat di Jepang. Saya juga dari kantor pusat di Jepang, namanya Kozo Nagami. Yeah, thank you for participating today's talk show. Okay, so yeah, okay, please next. Sorry, my bahasa Indonesia is very poor, so from here I'm gonna give you by English. And what is the disaster trends in the world and developing countries? That's what I want to share with you. Many of you might be already aware, but this is the numbers of very important characters, important figure stipulated as a global target in the Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction. Who knows or who will know about the Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction among us? Raise your hand. Why? Sendai is a very important city, right? And we are sharing kokoro no tomo. So please learn after you go back to home, Sendai framework again. And these are the numbers of death and affected people and economic losses. As you can see, the number of human losses are decreasing in the world, while the economic losses are increasing. So opposite trend we have. Okay, go. And this is the share depending on the type of hazards. And as you can see, the death is occupied by the earthquake 31%, and affected number of affected people, drought is the top. But for the economic damages, that is the most important part for the SDG, Sustainable Development Goal, is climatic hazard 70%, which is flood and storm 70%, and 18% is earthquake, geohazard. So the point is, only economic losses are increasing, and to meet the target of the Sendai framework, we have to more concentrate our efforts to deal with the climatic hazards. That is a very key message today. Right, come next. And these are the numbers. Sorry that you cannot see the bottom part well due to the chairs, but developing countries are yielding 3.7 trillion yen, which is 30 billion US dollar economic losses, equal to 0.2% of GDP, which is very huge, and which is obstacling the sustainable development of developing countries. Okay, next. And now JICA has a very much ambitious target to set up their target DRR investment level to 80% of the economic losses for the developing countries, which is 26 billion US dollar, huge money. You know how much from JICA for the developing countries in total annually for the disaster risk reduction? Just 1 billion. 1 billion US dollar. So 26 times more is needed to cover the whole developing countries. Next. And this is the map of showing our deep cooperation we have for the disaster risk reduction authorities in the Asia and Pacific. Come next. And this is the Caribbean and American countries. Come next. And this is the Middle East and African countries. So the point is, to increase the DRR investment, JICA cannot cover all. Each country, like these, line ministries and DRR agencies, have to do their own jobs as a public entity to increase DRR investment. That is very important. JICA cannot cover all, right? And other donors cannot cover all. You cannot rely on the developed countries or donors. Yes, come next. And this is the global agenda, today's main topic. The key message is, at the upper side of this slide, resilient national foundation is the key, the ultimate purpose of our DRR activities. That is connected to the human security and SDGs as well. Okay, come next. And we always think about the S-curve. Climbing up the mountain from left to right is very important for the DRR. And the vertical axis is indicating the total amount of past historical DRR investment, pre-disaster DRR investment, while the horizontal axis is indicating the years. So from left to right, you have to climb up the mountain. You should not stop your, climbing up efforts. Otherwise, you have to deal with the red zone always. Red zone is indicating the unreduced risk. Green zone is safe zone, already reduced risk. So many developing countries are staying on the very much bottom line of this S-curve. And they always have to deal with the red, the disaster effects after it happens. So the key point is increase the green zone before the disaster occurs. That is the pre-disaster investment. Okay, next. And as I saw, Japan has already reached to the very upper point with using more than 400 years for flooding, flood control. But many developing countries have very huge appetite for economic and social infrastructure and development only, but not, putting efforts for the DRR investment. So their economy is improving, their income is increasing, but they are still staying at the very much bottom level, many developing countries. You have to climb up the mountain, right? And make use of your time. Okay, come next. And this is, disaster risk is consisting of hazard and exposure. Yeah, come next. And vulnerability. And hazard and exposure cannot be dealt by other institutions than the DRR agencies. Only DRR agency can deal with the hazard and exposure. And the vulnerability issue can be dealt by many organizations and other sectors like education, income and poverty reduction, and industry, livelihood, health. Everything can be dealt by many donors and many organizations, many sectors. But left-hand side can be dealt by just the DRR people. We have to concentrate our efforts and wisely and rationally demarcate our efforts to more focusing on the left-hand side to deal with the natural disasters and climate change. Okay, come next. And we have 3 pillars. And one thing is to gradually augment structural measures. Come next. But to do the structural measures, we have to appropriately differentiate the countermeasures depending on the type of hazards. So the upper part is the controllability high type of hazard, which is flood, storm surge, and landslide. That can be controlled by the whole society, by the public government. So in that case, we have to apply the DRR infrastructure to control the hazard exposure itself. That is very crucial for tackling with climate change, climate risk as well. But on the other hand, for the seismic and volcanic volcanic eruption, these are not controllable for the hazard exposure. So in that case, we must focus on the critical infrastructure enhancement, resilient infrastructure. So we have to appropriately differentiate the countermeasures. Come next. And this is the case for Philippines. Yeah, Indonesia is very much similar to this trend, but the Philippines is the champion right now. Philippines has increased, as you can see, the green graphs. These monies are only for the flood control. The amount is far surpassing the total amount of Japan's supported money in history. Now they are spending $3 billion US per year. Huge money. Okay, why it happened? Come next. This is a map of how they did for the Manila flood control. The red, this is indicating a floodway constructed in 1988. But the river is flowing from right-hand side upper to left-hand side bottom. And this is the metropolitan Manila. And in 1988, they constructed a floodway directly flowing into the Laguna Lake and avoiding, so huge flooding water flowing into the center of the Manila. And what happens due to this kind of effort? Come next. This is the case for 2020 Typhoon Ulysses case. Actual exposure, hazard exposure was like this yellow zone. So due to the floodway, until the floodway starts here, there were some inundations because the river flow capacity is a bit limited compared to the amount of water from the rainfall. But after the point, starting from the floodway, there was very limited amount of inundated water, as you can see. And this is without the floodway case, like this. And the amount of the economic losses and the number of people affected was dramatically reduced due to this kind of pre-disaster investment. Okay, come next. So this example, successful case, is indicating that fact that Philippines already knew, thanks to the past efforts of floodway, Mangahan floodway, cooperated with the Japan government, that pre-disaster investment payoff for the future. for the next generation, not only for yourself, for the next generation, 1988. But, okay, in reality, we have a unreduced amount of disaster risk. So this red zone we have to deal with at the same time. Yeah, please come next. And we already set up a method to deal with the unreduced residual risk in the 8 steps, we call it. Starting from the risk understanding and how to plan and strategy formulation and how to implement it. So these 8 steps we formulated and we provided to the developing countries. Come next. And of course, build back better. So in the course of climbing up this mountain S-curve, you face the disaster in reality. In that case, we have to make use of that time, recovery time, to increase the area zone of green zones, reduce the disaster risk. That is the build back better. Okay, thank you. Come next. And we are now working on the Tonga for the BBB cases. Come next. And we are scientifically analyzing with the help of advanced researchers, Japanese researchers, and we are now formulating a BBB vision. Okay, come next. And this is, the structure of public help, public responsibility, mutual help, and self-help. And the structural measure should be done by the public responsibility, sovereign, country's government. But while the unreduced risk should be also mobilize the community and the households. Okay, come next. All right. Then, so these complementarity is kind of synergizing our collective efforts. Okay, come next. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm done. Sorry. And I'm continuing to the Ms. Kotomi for the real examples.
Okay, thank you very much for your kind introduction of our JICA's policy and also some example of our JICA project. Nagami-san, thank you very much for that. So then, could you go to my slide? Is it okay? So from now on, hello again, my name is Kotomi Masuda. I'm a Deputy Assistant Director of JICA Headquarters Disaster Risk Reduction Group. And then actually, normally I'm in charge of the project for the Middle East and Europe countries at the headquarters. So I had no chance to visit the countries in Southeast Asia. So this is actually the first time for me to visit your beautiful country, Indonesia. I'm so excited about it. Thank you, thank you. So then, yes, next please. No, this is not mine. So from now, I would like to introduce more specific project of JICA in the field of disaster risk reduction. So we can wait for the PowerPoint slide for a while. So at the beginning, I would like to show you the snapshot of our operation all over the world in the field of disaster risk reduction. And then later on, I would like to mention more details of the project addressing each pillar of our global agenda. Okay. Then, actually, Nagami-san already mentioned the cluster number 1, the example of the Philippines, addressing the cluster number 1 of global agenda. And then, since he's already given the lecture on this, I would like to supplement some information for cluster number 1. Actually, Nagami-san introduced the example of hard structural measures for promoting the nation's development foundation. But also, as I mentioned before, I'm in charge of the project in Iran and in the countries in Middle East. We are also implementing the project in Iran and Turkey for the formulation and update of the disaster risk reduction plan. And then, even though this is not the project for the hard infrastructure, we also try to integrate the policy of the promotion of structural measure into the soft technical cooperation. For example, we consider it is necessary not only to formulate the local disaster risk reduction plan, but also to promote the actual implementation of DRR investment in accordance with the local DRR plan. So in the project, for the project in Turkey and Iran, we are trying to, let's say, we are trying to, okay, thank you very much for that. Okay, then, okay, thank you very much for the sudden change. Okay, so actually we, yeah, so as for the example in Turkey and Iran, so we are also try to formulate a budget plan in the disaster risk reduction plan, so that the government can get and secure the enough budget for the actual implementation of the investment. So thank you very much for switching the PowerPoint slide properly. So then I would like to go back to the snapshot of the JICA project, as you can see on the screen. So JICA is currently implementing the, Disaster Risk Reduction Group of JICA is implementing more than 150 projects, not only in Indonesia or in the country in Southeast Asia, but all over the world, as you can see from the slide. And then we are implementing the project with various schemes, not only technical cooperation, but the loan project, grant aid, grassroots project, and also the collaboration with private sector, etc. And also, you can find that we are implementing the project targeting various natural hazards, such as Nagami-san kindly mentioned before, the volcanic eruption in Tonga, and the flood control in the Philippines, also the earthquake in Nepal, and mudslide in Brazil. And also we utilize the external fund for the coastal protection in the Maldives. Okay, so could you go to the next slide? Could you go to the next? Okay, then next, please. So, as I mentioned before, we are also utilize the external fund for our project. So this is the case of the Maldives. So we utilize the fund from Green Climate Fund, which was just approved last year at the GCF Secretariat. And then we are now preparing the project for coastal protection in inhabited island in the Maldives. So the basic idea is to formulate ICZM plan. This is the Integrated Coastal Zone Management Plan. So this includes these 4 components. So as I mentioned in the example of Iran and Turkey, we try to implement not only to formulate the plan itself, but also we try to engage the relevant organizations to promote the actual investment in accordance with formulated the ICGM plan. Next slide, please. Oh, next slide, please. So I would like to address the specific example of cluster number 2 of our global agenda. So this is the case of the Vietnam. So to address the cluster number 2, strengthen overall governance for DRR, including non-structural measures, we are providing the weather radar through grant aid, as well as the technical cooperation for the capacity building of relevant organizations such as Meteorological Agency. So could you go to the next slide, please? Okay. The last pillar of our global agenda, again, this is to promote the concept of Build Back Better. And then this is the case of the Nepal. So during the reconstruction and recovery period, after the huge earthquake in Nepal in 2015, we implemented the several projects, as you can see from the slide. So we conducted the risk assessment and also some hard structural project. So based on the risk assessment, we conducted some yen loan project and also grant aid project as well. And then we also, this is by utilizing this in the concept of the Build Back Better, we provided the funds to the households who decided to make their houses more resilient than before. So that's the system. And then this is based on the Build Back Better concept. So since the time is limited, I'd like to stop here. And then Nagami-san, if you would like to supplement some information on this, or maybe we can accept further question from the audience.
Hi. Thank you so much, Kotomi, and thank you for you, everybody, sitting together here. And do you have any comment as Anita-san?
Yes, maybe all of you doesn't know really well about our cooperation, JICA cooperation in whole the world. And from Nagami-san and also Masuda-san, we can know what we do for our better future regarding the disaster management. Thank you very much, everyone. Maybe Masuda-san, you want to say something?
Yes, please visit our booth over there, JICA's booth.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, Masuda-san,
Thank you
Nagami-san,
very much.
Anita-san. Thank you very much.